business management. Definitions. Terry and Franklin. Management is a distinct process consisting of activities, planning, organizing, actuating, and controlling, performed to determine and accomplish stated objectives with the use of human beings and other resources. According to Kuntz and Wilhich, management is the process of designing and maintaining an environment in which individuals working together in groups efficiently accomplish selected aims. F. W. Taylor. Management is an art of knowing what is to be done and seeing that it is done in the best possible manner. Henry Foyle. Management is to forecast, to plan, to organize, to command, to coordinate, and control activities of management is the art of getting things done through others. It is an activity which coordinates the human and non-human resources, men, material, machines, etc., for achieving the desired results. Although different views are given on the functions of management, the most commonly accepted functions are planning, organizing, staffing, leading, and controlling. According to the definition, managing is an art of creating favorable performance environment enabling the group to attain stated objectives, and management is the body of organized knowledge, that is, science which underlines the art. The definition clearly indicates that effective management is always contingency or situational management. Concept and nature of management. Management is the process of designing and maintaining an environment in which individuals working together in groups effectively and efficiently accomplish selected aims. This definition implies first, as managers, people carry out the managerial functions of planning, organizing, staffing, leading, and controlling. Second, management applies to any kind of organization. Third, it applies to managers at all organizational levels. Management definition applies to fourth, the aim of all managers is the same to create a surplus. 5. Management is concerned with productivity. This implies effectiveness and efficiency. Management definitions by Narayana Rao. Management of an organization is the process of establishing objectives and goals of the organization periodically, designing the work system and the human organization structure, and maintaining an environment in which individuals working together in groups accomplish their aims and objectives and goals of the organization effectively and efficiently. 3rd December 2008. Effectiveness is producing the product or service to the customer's want in business context with the required functional benefits and product attributes at the price he is willing to pay. Efficiency is minimization of resources to produce a saleable implications of definition of Narayana Rao's management. Definition. Management is a process. Management applies to every kind of organization, government, profit making, or non profit making. It applies to managers at all levels in the organization. Management effectiveness and efficiency implications. Management is concerned with effectiveness. Explain the concept of productivity, effectiveness, and efficiency. Aims of the managers to increase productivity. Let us define productivity as the out-input ratio within a time period with due consideration for quality. We may relevant output is acceptable output satisfying specification. Effectiveness is the achievement of objectives. Efficiency is the achievement of the ends with the least amount of resources. What is management? Management is required for an established life and essential to managing all types of management. Sound management is the fortitude of thriving companies. Managing life implies getting everything done to accomplish life's aspirations, and maintaining an establishment means getting everything done with and by other people to deliver its objectives. To put it in other words, the organization and coordination of the pursuits of an industry for the idea of accomplishing determined objectives efficiently and thoroughly are marked as significance of management. Achieving group goals. Management encourages collaboration and coordination amongst workers. A general control must be provided to the organizational and personal objectives in order to favorably accomplish the limits. Increase efficiency. Management improves productivity by managing resources in a reliable, conceivable way in order to decrease cost, upscale potency. Creates dynamic organization. Management undertakes the conditions by assuring that these variations are well accepted privately and that objection to change is controlled. Achieving personal objectives, management promotes leadership and furnishes motivation to the employees to operate effectively in order to accomplish their personal aims while working towards the organizational goals. Development of society. Management helps in the enhancement of community by manufacturing reliable quality commodities, establishing employment chances, and fostering innovative technology. Features of management. Management is a goal-oriented method. An establishment has a predefined set of fundamental goals which are the primary basis for its being. These must be easy and explicitly mentioned. Different establishments have various goals. For instance, the aim of a retail market maybe is to improve sales, but the purpose of the Statistics Society of India is to allow education to children with specific requirements. Management strengthens the energies of different individuals in the company towards accomplishing these goals. Management is all common. The activities associated with managing a firm are familiar to all companies, whether financial, cultural, or civic. A petrol pump must be regulated as much as a school or a hospital. What managers do in India, Japan, Germany, or the USA is identical. How they achieve it may be considerably diverse. This variation is due to the distinctions in tradition, history, and culture. Management is a perpetual process. The method of management is a set of consecutive, composite, but distinct purposes: organizing, planning, staffing, controlling, and directing. These operations are concurrently executed by all managers. The responsibility of a manager comprises a continuous series of duties. Management is intangible energy. It is an intangible strength that can be seen, but its proximity can be felt in the form of business operations. The outcome of management is remarkable in an industry where targets are reached according to procedures, employees are comfortable and content, and there is arrangement rather than confusion. Management is a group activity. It implies that it is not single person who completes all the actions of the industry, but it is always a group of people. Therefore, management is a group and nature of management, universal process. Wherever there exists human pursuit, there exists management. Without effective management, the intentions of the organization cannot be accomplished. The factor of production. Equipped and experienced managers are necessary for the utilization of funds and labor. Goal-oriented, the most significant aim of all management pursuit is to achieve the purpose of the firm. The aims must be practical and reachable. Supreme in thought and action, managers set achievable goals and then direct execution on all aspects to achieve them. For this, they need complete assistance from middle and lower degrees of management. The system of authority, well-defined principles of regulation, the regulation of proper power and efficiency at all degrees of decision making. This is important so that each self must perform what is required for him or her and to whom he must report. Profession. Managers require to control managerial expertise and education and have to adhere to a verified law of demeanor and stay informed of their human and social responsibilities. Process. The management method incorporates a range of activities or services directed toward an object. Levels of management. There are three main levels of management that include many types of managerial positions. Here's a look at the detail for each level of management, plus their duties, common job titles. First level is top management, middle level, and lower level. Let us discuss all three of them in our next. Authority is downward moving, whereas responsibility goes upward. Top level management includes chief executives, chief marketing officer, chief sales officer, chief technology officer, president, managing director. Middle management, marketing manager, purchase head, sales manager, operation manager, branch manager, finance manager. Lower or operative management, supervisor, foreman, junior manager, inspector, clerks. and the below is workforce. Top level managers. The top levels or administrative managers oversee the direction of an entire company. These managers confirm that the company is meeting its long term goals and growing at a steady pace. Their primary goals are typically to create a successful company that maximizes profit and has an excellent reputation. Top level managers have the highest level of responsibility, authority, and control in a company, but often take suggestions or listen to concerns from other employees. The primary duties of top level managers involve developing business plans, setting goals, and keeping contact with external business. There are many different roles for level managers, but all of them are very important positions that direct all other employees. Some common roles in top level management are CEO, COO, CFO, President, Vice President, and Board of Mid-level managers. Mid-level managers, sometimes called executive managers, execute the plans of top-level management and direct first-line managers and other employees. They are the connection between the administrative level and everyone else, and these managers often take information from top-level managers to discuss or teach to employees. The purpose of mid-level managers is to operate branches of a company to ensure the employees of each branch understand the overall goals they are trying to achieve. Typical duties include executing top-level plans, guiding first-line managers with advice, and completing group performance evaluations. Most mid-level managers work with the specific sections of a company to help their section adhere to company standards. Jobs available in mid-level management include general manager, branch manager, department manager, regional manager, plant manager, division manager. First line managers. First line or supervisory managers reports to mid-level managers and support the smallest division of a company like sections within a branch or specific groups of employees. These managers interpret instructions from mid-level managers to help them direct their team successfully and contribute to the growth of the company. First line managers also listen to employee concerns and discuss them with mid-level management, who may take the concerns to top-level management. Many first line managers perform duties like assigning tasks to the employees, maintaining the quality of production, and supervising daily roles for first-line managers typically involve interacting directly with employees to help them perform their duties successfully and create a work environment committed to following directions from upper management. A few job titles for first-line managers are supervisor, section lead, team lead, foreperson, floor manager, area coordinator. The difference between management versus administration is given in the given slide. Coordination as an essence of management. Coordination is considered as the essence of management because of the following reasons. Number one, coordination is needed to perform all the functions of management. In planning, coordination is required between the objectives and available resources. Second, organizing is ineffective if there is a lack of coordination between different departments and divisions. In staffing, coordination is required between the required skills and abilities of an individual who is selected to perform a job. Directing is impossible and of no worth if there is a lack of coordination between superiors and subordinates. In controlling, coordinating helps in ensuring that actual results are fruitful. Coordination is needed at all levels of management. Top level, the top level coordinates the activities of the whole organization, keeping in view the desired goals. Middle level, the middle level managers coordinate the activities of different departments. Lower level, the lower level coordinates the activities of the workers for achieving goals. Thus, we can say coordination is not a separate function of management, it is the essence of three organization theories: classical, neoclassical, and modern theory. Classical organization theory. The classical writers viewed organization as a machine and human beings as components of that machine. They were of the view that efficiency of the organization can be increased by making human beings efficient. Their emphasis was on specialization and coordination of activities. Most of the writers gave emphasis on efficiency at the top level and few at lower levels of organization. That is why this theory has given streams: scientific management and administrative management. The scientific management group was mainly concerned with the task to be performed at the operative. Henry Fowell studied for the first time the principles and functions of management. Some authors like Gulick, Oliver Sheldon, Erwick viewed the problem where identification of activities is necessary for achieving organization goals. Grouping or departmentation was also considered essential for making the function effective. Since this theory revolves around structure, it is also called structural theory of organization. Pillars of organization theory. According to classical writers, the organization theory is built around four key pillars: division of work, scalar and functional processes, structure, and span of. Number one, division of labor. The division of labor implies that work must be divided to obtain specialization with a view to improve the performance of workers. The classical theory rests on the assumption that more a particular job is broken into its simplest component parts, the more specialized a worker can become in carrying out his part of the job. The specialization in workers will make the organization efficient. Various activities of a job are specified and subdivided into different components so that these may be assigned to different persons. The workers will go on repeating their work under division of labor. The performance of same work will help workers to improve their efficiency, and the organization as a whole is benefited by the scalar and functional process. The scalar process refers to the growth of chain of command, delegation of authority, unity of command, and obligation to report. It is called scalar process because it provides a scale or grading of duties according to the degree of authority and responsibility. It generates superior subordinate relationship in the organization. The functional process deals with the division of organization into specialized parts or departments and regrouping of the parts into compatible structure. It is the framework of formal relationships among various tasks, activities, and people in the organization. The basic structural element in the classical theory is position. Each position is assigned a specific task and authority is delegated for its accomplishment. The efficiency with which these tasks will be accomplished will determine the effectiveness of the organization. The classical writers emphasize line and style. Span of control. The span of control means the number of subordinates a manager can control. Classical thinkers specify numbers at different levels which can be effectively supervised by a superior. A manager cannot exercise proper control if the number of subordinates increases beyond a certain figure. On the other hand, if the number is less than his capacity and knowledge cannot be fully utilized. Neoclassical organization theory. The classical theory of organization focused main attention on physiological and mechanical variables of organizational functioning. The testing of these variables did not show positive results. The Hawthorne studies conducted by George Elton Mayo and associates discovered that real cause of human behavior was somewhat more than mere physiological variables. These studies focus attention on human beings in the organization. Neoclassical approach is contained in 2 points. Organizational situations should be viewed in social, economic, and technical terms, and the social process of group behavior can be understood in terms of clinical method analogous to the doctor's diagnosis of human organism. This theory views formal and informal forms of organization as important. The behavioral approach followed in this theory is the other contribution of neoclassical thinkers. The pillars of classical thinker theory, viz. Division of work, departmentation, coordination, and human behavior were taken as given, but these postulates were regarded as modified by people acting independently or within the context of the informal organization. The main propositions of neoclassical theory are given as follows. The organization in general is a social system composed of numerous interacting parts. Informal organization exists within the formal organization. Both are affected by and affect each other. Human being is independent and his behavior can be predicted in terms of social factors at work. Motivation is a complex process. Many socio-psychological factors operate to motivate human beings at work. A conflict between organizational and individual goals often exists. There is a need to reconcile the goals of the individual with those of the organization. Teamwork is essential for higher productivity. Man's approach is not always rational. Often he behaves non-logically in terms of reward which he seeks from his work. Communication is necessary as it carries information for the functioning of the organization and the feelings of the people at work. Improvements over classical theory. Neoclassical theory offers modifications and improvements over classical theory in some aspects such as follows: flat structure, decentralization, and informal organization. Flat structure. The classical theory suggested tall structure, whereas neoclassical theory suggested flat structure. In tall structure, there is a problem of communication because of differentiation between decision makers and implementers. The level of management are too many, and motivation of people is difficult. In case of that structure, the wide span of control helps in motivation. Chain of communication is shorter and it is free from hierarchical control. Decentralization. Neoclassical theory advocates decentralized organization which is close to flat structure because of wider span of control. It allows autonomy and initiative at the lower level. It also develops people to occupy higher positions in future. Informal organization. The neoclassical theorists advocated the need for both formal and informal organizations. Formal organization represents the intentions of top management for the purpose of interactions among the people. Informal organization is necessary to plug the loopholes of formal organization and to satisfy the social and psychological needs of people. Managements use informal organization for overcoming resistance to change on the part of workers and also for fast communication process. Both formal and informal organizations are interdependent upon each other. Modern organization theory. Modern organization theory is of recent origin, having developed in early 1960s. This theory has tried to overcome the drawbacks of earlier theories. In the words of W. G. Scott, the distinctive qualities of modern organization theory are its conceptual analytical base, its reliance on empirical research data, and above all, its integrating nature. These qualities are framed in a philosophy which accepts the premise that the only meaningful way to study organization is to study it as a system. This theory may be understood in two approaches: system approach and contingency approach. System approach. This approach studies the organization in its totality. The mutually dependent variables are properly analyzed. Both internal and external variables are studied in analyzing the nature of organization. Through Though this theory passes a much higher conceptual level as compared to earlier theories, but different writers have given varied views on the system. Organization as a system can well be understood by identifying various subsystems within it. Each subsystem may be identified by certain processes, roles, structures, and norms of conduct. Seller has classified four components in an organization: human inputs, technological inputs, organizational inputs, and social structure and norms. Katz and Kahu have identified five subsystems of organization: technical subsystem concerned with the work that gets done, supportive subsystem of procurement, disposal, and institutional relations, maintenance of subsystems for tying people into their functional roles, adaptive subsystem concerned with organizational change, and managerial subsystems for direction, adjudication, and control of the many subsystems and the activities of the structure. Contingency approach. Even though system approach presents a better understanding of organizational and managerial functioning, but it does not provide solution for all types of organizational structures. System approach offers model which may not suit every type of organization. A structure suitable for one unit may not be suitable for another. Contingency approach suggests an organizational design which suits a particular unit. A structure will be suitable only if it is tailor-made for an enterprise. The influence of both internal and external factors should be considered while framing a suitable organizational structure. This approach suggests that needs, requirements, situations of a particular concern should be considered while designing an organizational structure. The factors which influence an organization may be described as environment, technology, size of operations, people. These factors greatly influence a decision for the selection of an appropriate organization for an enterprise. Behavioral approach in management and administration. Approach is the most important approach in the study of management and administration that has emerged during 20th century. The group which has the greatest influence in the growth and development of this new field consisted of Chester Bernard, J. G. March, Herbert Simon, Douglas MacGregor, Abraham Maslow, Lenses Likert, Warren Bennis, etc. Behaviorist implicates empirical investigation based on systematic and detailed observation in organizations supported by findings of social sciences of human behavior provided the basis for building in uniformities and concepts which could be utilized by managers for improved practices instead of relying on personal experience which was often based on insufficient foundation in fact. Scope, methodology, purpose, implementation, function, of psychology, social psychology, industrial psychology, sociology, anthropology. Influence, motivation, coordination, which results in induced performance, and induced performance. Characteristics of behavioral approach. Organizational equilibrium or steady state. The organization has been described as a system in equilibrium, which receives contribution in the form of money, effort, time, skill, expertise, etc., and offers inducement in return for these contributions. These inducements include the organizational goal itself, conservative, and growth of the organization, and incentives unrelated to these two key issues in any organization is about two interests, that is, employer interest and employees interest. Employer seeks try to find or obtain to achieve more with what characteristic of behavioral approach. Organizational equilibrium or steady state. The organization has been described as a system in equilibrium, which receives contribution in the form of money, effort, time, skills include the organizational goal itself, conservation and growth of organization, and incentives and related to these two key issues in any organization is about two interests, that is, employer interest and employees interest. Employer seeks try to find out or obtain to achieve more with the least cost of rewards and incentives, whereas employees always seek to receive more rewards and benefits from the management. In this regard, the need of organizational equilibrium is inevitable. To Herbert Simon and Chester Bernard, organizational equilibrium means balance between what the individual contributes to the organization in the form of energy, skill, and loyalty, and what he receives in return by the ways of recognition, pay, and security. March calls for the same, the general theory of organizational equilibrium. Group dynamics. Power or force that produce change, actions, or effects. Dynamics is the science, is the study or interplay of force or motion branch of physics dealing with movement and force. This is the field of inquiry that deals with the development of small groups, interactions among groups, member and groups and intergroup behavior. The basic assumption underlying the study of group dynamics are groups are inevitable and ubiquitous, present everywhere and every time. Groups mobilize powerful forces that produce effects of almost importance to individuals. Groups may produce good or bad consequences from groups can be deliberately enhanced. Authority and leadership. Authority, power, coercive power, legitimate power, reward power, expert power, is only one of the number of forms of influences. Its distinguishing characteristics are it does not seek to convince the subordinate, but only to obtain his acquaintances, acceptance without protest, an actual exercise of force. Authority is usually liberally admixed with suggestion and persuasion. An important function of authority is to permit a decision to be made and carried out, even when agreement cannot be reached. Perhaps this arbitrary aspect of authority has been overemphasized, however, in discussions of the concept. In any case, the arbitrary element in authority is limited to the area of acceptance of the subordinate. Organization as a social system. According to behaviorist, organizations are composed of large groups or hierarchies, which are an aggregation of many small groups, both formal and informal. It is a complex organization in which the informality of the small face-to-face groups is only a part of total organizational picture. Hence, organization is therefore be viewed as a social institution. So instead of viewing organization as a hierarchy of jobs or body of informal group relationships, it is now a social institution living in a cultural environment of its own. Thank you.